You sit down to work on your super fancy workplace. You have this modern PC, this up-to-date processor shit, that fucking metal mouse. This isn't a metal mouse. That fucking high-tech keyboard, all this shit. But you still can't work. You still aren't productive. You still aren't disciplined. You still aren't consistent. And then there's another guy in another corner of the world, in India, Pakistan, or somewhere else in Asia, who's working with a fucking 2012 laptop, fucking plastic mouse, fucking lunch desk, plastic keyboard, who's working harder than you, who's more productive than you, who's more disciplined than you, who's more consistent than you. Do you realize how much you're wasting your time on building a fancy workplace? I get asked this question a lot, that do you need a fancy workplace to become productive? And you know the answer. Fucking no. Only if it's a necessity. You don't need that fancy laptop, that up to date fucking PC. You don't need that shit. Just get what you need and get straight to work. And before I tell you about how do you build the perfect setup for you to work and to produce massive results by being productive, I want to tell you about something else first. By clicking the top link in the description down below, that will take you to my website. Scroll down below, join the Productive Chats community to go from a fucking weeb to a productive chat with me by your side. I personally give you weekly one-on-one meetings with me to fix your productivity, discipline, and consistency. And I give you other resources such as a private chat with me. You can message me at any time. Ebooks, courses, templates, motivation posters, every single one of that shit. I give it to you. So, if you're interested in that, click the first link in the description down below to join my community. And if you want more productivity insights just like this in your inbox every single day, click the second link in the description down below to subscribe to my daily email newsletter. So, how do you build the perfect workplace for you? Build the perfect setup for you. Because you don't need a fancy setup. We've all got that clear. You don't need a fancy setup to work productively. The first step is work with only necessities. Work with things that you need, not what you want. You want that fucking high-end PC, but the only thing that you need is a 2012 laptop. But you don't realize that. Work with what you already have. You don't need to spend $10,000 building a perfect setup when you can't even work productively. So there's no point in building fucking fancy $10K setup for working on YouTube. So work with only the necessities. What are the things that you need to work super hard? Maybe the only thing that you need is a crusty old laptop, plastic mouse, and a keyboard. That's it. You don't need fancy shit. Realize what you need, not what you want. Second thing that you do is make something with what you already have. You don't need to spend fucking 3,000 bucks on a fucking monitor when you have a fucking laptop lying around. Maybe it may be from 2012 or something, but it still works. Make something with what you already have. Because you may lose those $3,000 by spending them on a monitor which doesn't even produce results by you being more productive. So, you may just lose the money if you spend it all on that fancy setup. So don't spend your money mindlessly just like that. Make work with what you already have. Make work with all the resources that you already fucking have. The third and final thing that you can do is be grateful. Be grateful for what you already have, because there are like millions of kids in the Middle East, fucking Palestine, who don't have access to all this shit, but they're still happy. And you still want that fucking fancy setup to work? Do you realize the level that you've gone to to say all this shit and to think to yourself that you need a fucking fancy setup to be productive. Because nothing ever stopped a man who really wanted to accomplish something. Be that man. Be that man who works without that fancy setup and is richer, more successful, more productive, more disciplined, more jacked, more consistent than that guy who has a $10K setup who isn't even productive and a rich buyer. He's a fucking fucking noob. Jeffrey. So, I just told you the three things that you need to build the perfect setup for you and to 10x your productivity by building the perfect setup. Just work with what you already have. Just understand what are the necessities for you to work and be grateful for what you already have. Do the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Click the first link in the description down below to become a productive Chad by joining my community. Click the second link in the description to join my subscriber list for my daily email newsletter on productivity. Thank you for watching, and remember, action over words.